To begin this episode, I want to do something a little bit different. Now, I'm not doing this out of spite. Okay, I'm not doing this out of anger. I'm not doing this out of spite. But it was mentioned in the comment section of the last video that it's been mentioned a lot recently, really. It's not just one person in particular, that I let go of prospects too much. I've let go of too much talent, and that's why we haven't had success. So I'll tell you what I did. I went through all 30 teams and tracked down the prospects that I let go of. And I will show you guys the best ones that we have traded away. Now here's the thing. If you don't see a certain prospect, they either A, haven't developed yet to above a 75 overall, or B, they never made it. So let's quickly take a look, because we have a lot to get to in this episode. We got the regular season to wrap up, and we also have the first round of the playoffs to take care of. So the first player we come to here is Willie DeMaio. We selected him 16th overall in 2022. He is currently 21 years old, medium elite, 78 overall, a fourth liner for Calgary. Now just looking at the attributes, do I regret letting go of him? A little bit. I don't remember what we traded him for. I'm sure you guys could track that down if you want to. But looking at the attributes, does he look like a medium elite that's going to turn into an actual top 6 goal-scoring threat? Or does he look more like an Edward Cizik? Someone very similar who is just more than likely going to be better as a second pairing, maybe even a third pairing two-way. I mean, we saw, you look at Cizik's attributes, he doesn't put up points. He's a great two-way player. But when it comes to Willie DeMaio here, I have a feeling he's going to be a very similar player. Third line, maybe even second line, two-way, who isn't going to put up a whole hell of a lot of points. I can't help but feel that way. He has 42 points in 62 games, or 42 points in 64 games down in the AHL. So that's really the first big-time player that you look at, and it's like, okay, maybe I made a mistake giving him up, but legitimately, I have no idea what we gave up for him. Now, the next player here, if I can find him here, let me sort by overall instead of value. It is Will Bitton. Now, he is in the category of prospects that we started the game off with, so I'm not really going to factor in Nikita Sherbak, Lehkonen, and Charlie Hudon. We held on to those players for a very long time, maybe longer than we should have, to be honest. But Will Bitton, fourth line guy. Do I regret letting go of him? Maybe. You know, he at least would have been an improvement on who we had on the fourth line to begin, or for the majority of the season, really. We just now changed up the fourth line. So he's someone else, decent enough player, not shedding too many tears over letting go of him. The next guy, he was featured in both series. That'd be Ivan Kosarenkov. Feel like I made a pretty good choice in getting rid of him. We go to the Nashville Predators, a familiar name in the form of Ty Smith, 30th overall selection in 2018. Still a depth forward at 24 years old. Has a chance to become a decent third pairing guy. I mean, it's the physical category that really drags him down, but he never developed. We go over to Pittsburgh. Now, you guys are aware of this because, of course, we saw that he found success with Pittsburgh, if I'm not mistaken. Samu Jaskalainen, another guy who I think was also in the Hartford series. Third line guy, very well-rounded. I mean, I got to admit, he would be a great third liner for us. Now, would he have a spot on this team right now, considering we have guys like Murray Heinold at the moment, Preston Garlock, who's the other one that I'm thinking of, Conklin, who's actually down on the fourth line at the moment. Would he really fit on this team anymore? Probably not, but he would have been a nice player to have, I suppose. On San Jose, of course, Sherbak is there, Charlie Hudon is there, but that is not who we are concerned about. We are worried about this guy right here. You saw his trade value. It wasn't great. Ronnie Lindsay, 59th overall selection in 2020, also a depth forward. Low elite at 22 years old, so a little bit better of a chance to develop into an actual third-pairing defenseman as compared to, say, Ty Smith. But, you know, not shedding too many tears over letting go of him. And I got to be honest with you, there's only one more guy, and it's on Vegas. Of course, Max Pacioretty is there. It is this guy right here, Tim Bolig. 16th overall selection, medium top 6, 23 years old, 77 overall, still a depth forward. In this series, and like I said, I didn't want to do that out of spite or like I told you so. I was genuinely intrigued. Like, okay, maybe I'm remembering this wrong, but I swear to God, those are the highest rated prospects that we have let go of. Now, time will tell as to whether or not some of the other guys I've let go of in, recent episodes turn out to develop. But as far as like the history of this series goes, we haven't exactly, thrown away too many talented prospects, which really shouldn't be all that surprising because we tried for so long to keep the main core together. So I guess it really shouldn't be all that surprising. But anyway, let's get back on track. In the last episode, we started the season sim. It went pretty well. We ended up acquiring 31 goal scorer Clayton Keller in a deal that was a little bit controversial, but one that I stand by. And the team's looking all right. We also acquired Adrian Worrell from Tampa for the fourth line. We need to sign Mike Condon after letting go of our prospect goalie who didn't really develop. But for now, all I can say is that our sights are set on the playoffs. Let's see if we can get there. There may be a horrific collapse on the horizon. It wouldn't be the first time in this series that we've seen one of our teams collapse, but as far as, I'm just double checking here, as far as any other upgrades go, we're basically good. We just need this team to develop. The only thing we could really do is everyone's favorite thing, and that would be giving up on more prospects. Let me just double check to see if there's any players on the team that I'm also fairly confident won't make it, and that way we can go out and get a little bit better depth. So goaltending, we'll hold on to Gagne. I mean, he's a 56 at 18 years old. He still has a decent shot. I mean, if he was like a 51 or a 52, that's when I'd start to get concerned. But goalie prospects for us aren't a big deal anyway, with Spike Richmond and Phil Shea. One's 24, the other's 22. So we could get rid of him if we wanted to. There's really no point. There's nobody I'm specifically targeting. It would just be team depth. Yzerman, we'll see what happens with him. McCauley, same thing. Don't have much faith in Moreau's, but we don't really have anybody to trade away. And then forward-wise, we still have Celios. We still have Martin. Of course, Mironov is there, 58 overall, 18 years old. Dixon, Rammer, Denisov's ridiculous development. We're pretty much good. It's just now a matter of whether or not Mike Condon will sign and whether or not we can continue to win games. And how will Clayton Keller do on his new team? We are about to find out. Let's go ahead and sim this game against Edmonton. Condon's here, which is good. It's a 6-4 win over the Oilers. So let's put Mike Condon in goal for the Rockets just to try and make sure that he's content with being on the team. He is our first call-up option. I mean, otherwise it was Legacy or Legacy, whoever that. I mean, it's the guy who plays for Vegas, and that's not an ideal call-up option. It never was. It never was. Let's see. So Wall needs to get into the lineup, as does Moreau's. So we'll take out Rumble, unfortunately. It's always a sad time to have to take him out of the lineup. And offensively, let's see. Yeah, the medium bottom six guys. At best, they're like a 75 to a 78. It's not tremendous. So let's put Wall back in the lineup there. He's at least medium top 9. Sweet. Let's go. Let's go. Let the simming continue because, again, we have a postseason series on the horizon. One would hope. We have 3 games at hand on Tampa. We're tied in points. We have a game at hand on Buffalo. We are 5 points back. So we can make up ground here against Anaheim, which we probably won't. Quentin Hughes is back to 100%. We did actually get the win, 3-2. Let me sim to this game against Dallas. 40 wins on the season for the Stars, so it's not going to be a very easy game for us. 5 points back still of the Sabres. If they could start dropping games, that would be nice. That would be nice. Of course, the Sabres, I'm sure, still have... they don't have Al Montoya anymore, but I'm sure they still have Zachary Fucale, which is just tremendous for me. Oh, Hughes wasn't even really hurt. All right, that's weird. I hate how it does that. If it's just a day-to-day injury, who cares? Who cares? You don't have to alert me to the fact that he's back to 100%. It's good to know. It's just distracting, that's all. We'll sim a week at a time. Big win against Dallas. Got games against the worst team in the league, the Bruins. 3-1 win, and there we go. 5 straight wins for the Habs, up to 42 points on the year. As we switch over to America for the scouting. We'll go 2 weeks. 2 weeks there. 7-1 win over Detroit. And then we lose Patrick Lucic, our best defenseman, for a couple of days. It's only a couple of days, so it could have been worse. But still, not a great time to have to deal with injuries. Not a good time at all. Keller has at least 3 goals since he has joined up with the team. I am just going to have to go best lines here. And let's see. You know what? We'll just go with what it suggests. Well, I mean, we have been winning, though. That's the one downside. We have been winning, so it's like, well, do we go with what it's been suggesting, or what do we do? I'll actually have Juleson and Mete. We'll reunite them. They were a pretty solid pairing for us not all that long ago. You know what? No, I'm not going to go with what it wants. At least not having Conklin there. I'm going to drop him down to the 4th line. Yeah, let's just make changes here. Why not? Why not? Let's make the changes that we pretty much have to make. There we go. That's looking better. And down in the AHL, again, yeah, see, this power play time affected. That's why I go best lines every time, because then I have to change the power play. Yes, I know if you do that, look, if you substitute the player, it also puts them in on the power play. But it doesn't for extra attacker and for shootout. And sometimes that can be annoying to go and change, which is why I prefer to just go best lines and then plug in the players that I want to actually have be in the lineup. Damn. Oh, man. All right. Oh, come on now, EA. The worst part is, it's only for a couple of days, too. Don't do this to me again. Did we not suffer through enough injuries in the last episode? Did we not? I feel like we did. I don't feel like you're being very fair. I'm just going to throw that out there. I think that EA is being a little bit difficult. I know, shocking. But they are. They are being just a little bit difficult. I actually didn't mean to put Atkinson up on the top line. Yes, I did. Never mind. I was wrong. It happens. Rarely. I'm kidding. But it does happen. Again, we'll go best lines. We'll take out Andrew Smith for Morose, and that should have Wall in the lineup. It does. Sweet. Let's continue on until I get to edit the roster again in about 2 seconds. We lost to Dallas, but we're able to beat Carolina. So still only 1 loss on the month. Patrick Lucic is back to 100%. It's all right. We can breeze through this, no problem. So let's go ahead and send down Victor Mete. At the very least, though, it's nice that some players aren't going to be affected by waivers now because we've had to make this ungodly amount of changes. So that's cool, right? You gotta look on the bright side, I do suppose. What are we doing? High note. There we go. And defense, Lucic, Franzen, Hughes, Juleson, Jenks, and Makar. Neat. And we'll take out Rumble for Mete for now. I can change all that over after. Because we're still going to have one more injury that we get to deal with here as Philip Deneau is back to 100%. So again, we'll take down Pascal Laberge. You have to wonder at this point who we're going to be facing in the first round. Odds are we're going to be able to avoid Buffalo, again, barring a historic collapse, which we are a little bit prone to, as we have discovered. I'm intrigued to see who we'd get matched up against. Philip Deneau actually dropped a couple of overall points, I guess because he missed a game? Maybe? He didn't even miss a game. Oh, morale system. You are a mystery, aren't you? We'll take out Morris for Laberge. There we go. That works. No problem. I mean, we don't really have to be too concerned with the Rockets' record. They're not making the postseason. Another 4-game win streak. Let's go ahead and sim to April 1st as we are rapidly approaching a 50-win season, which Don't worry, I don't blame you for not expecting that, because I didn't expect it. Of course, we do lose 2 straight. Can we make it 3? No, we at least beat Detroit 4-1. We lost to Buffalo, though. That could be a devastating loss. Yep, see, the second I start to talk positively about this team, we drop 4 out of 5. At least 2 losses were shootout losses, though. 49, 21, and 8 on April 1st. Let's take a look at the division standings. And regardless of the fact that we just lost to Buffalo, we have a 3-point lead on them in the race for the division title with 4 games to go. Clayton Keller's actually only scored 8 goals this month, but I'll take it. He will be a 40-goal scorer for us. The Lightning and the Leafs have also made the postseason, so it's very much up in the air. 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. Very much up in the air as far as actual seeding goes. And it looks like we have nothing but Eastern Conference opponents remaining. That is indeed the case. Boston, Philly, Toronto, and Pittsburgh. Let's do this. Can we hit 50 wins against the Bruins? No, we can't. It's a 4-2 loss. 5-3 win over Philly. 3-1 win over Toronto. So 51 wins now on the year. We should have that title locked up, and there you go. First in the conference. First place in the Eastern Conference. We take the division title as well. 3 points on Buffalo heading into the final game. It's looking like it's going to be Buffalo and Tampa. We're either going to play Toronto or whatever team is the representative from the Metro as their wild card. It's not too bad. Let's sim our last game of the season. It is pretty inconsequential, and actually because of that, I'm going to be a little bit conservative here. It's not a necessary change, but it's one that I want to make. Let's just go ahead and swap these lines around for one game. And hopefully EA doesn't take offense to me trying to be a little bit safe with my team and getting certain players on the ice. There we go. See, by default, Phil Shea was in anyway, so it's perfect. EA was ahead of me. Apparently, we're on the same page. There is no way within the next 5 seconds I'm not going to be incredibly disappointed due to an injury. No? Yeah, you're actually going to be nice. We lost 5-2, but what the hell do I care? I mean, yeah, we might have had a chance for the President's Trophy. I have no idea. We're going to take a look right now, though. Nope, never mind. We won it anyway. Well, there you go. Who would have expected that? Despite the fact that I played Phil Shea in the last game of the season and we lost with 110 points, the Montreal Canadiens are the top team in the NHL. President's Trophy in the books. Those 2 extra overtime losses helped us edge out Buffalo, and 3 of the top 3 teams in the league were all from the Atlantic. That is scary. Not to mention Toronto is there at number 6. So the Atlantic Division, very scary this season. Our goals for per game, not tremendous. Top 10, 2.87 per. Colorado was up there, though. 4 teams above 3 goals per game. Buffalo just short of that. Goals against per game, surprise, surprise, the team or the league's best defense and goaltending, at least according to goals against. Not too bad. Our power play was at 20.4%, outside of the top 10, just barely, I do believe. But, you know, we can make changes if necessary. Our penalty kill was at 81.4%, again, towards the top half of the league. And a very dominant home record, 26-11 and 4. But we're not heading into the postseason on the best stretch of games. 4-5-1, despite the beginning of this episode and really, you know, the first 3 weeks of March being very kind to us. As we get a look at the stats, Clayton Keller finishes with 75 points. He scored 11 goals since we acquired him. He finishes the season with 42. Joel Farabee was 63 points, almost hit 30 and 30. That would have been tremendous. Cole Atkinson with 57 points. A little bit disappointing for someone of his caliber, I got to admit. Patrick Lucic missed 2 games, still finished with 56 points. Not bad. Kirk Cunning, very disappointing. Now, I know what you're saying. Panay is not quite that goal scorer yet. If you put Cunning and Atkinson with true goal scorers it will be a Tarasenko-Schwartz type pairing. And I tend to agree. I do. We just need to find out if Clayton Keller and Ned Panayi are good enough to be those goal scorers to work with both of those guys, even though we have been playing Atkinson and Cunning on the same lines. Will we do that for the postseason? I don't think so. Josh Norris with 44 points. I held on to him this year. It might be his last year. I mean, he's going to need to show off some playoff heroics for me to keep him around. 42 points for Simmons, 42 points for Garlock, 39 points for Hughes. High note, just shy of 30 points. So secondary scoring was up there. We have a very offensively capable defense. Or should I say an offensively inclined set of defenders. You can phrase it any way you want. Our defense puts up points, and that is a valuable asset. The goaltending, though, might be the main story. Spike Richmond, 57 starts, 39, 14, and 4 shutouts with a .927 save percentage. Phil Shea with 27 appearances, he had a .935 save percentage. So our goaltending is looking incredibly promising. And again, we still have a first-round matchup to go through in this episode. Foucault finished with the most wins. He's up to an 87. Now, if you want to talk about certain players I got rid of maybe a bit too early that we started the series with, okay. I will give you that, but you have to remember how bad Foucault was for us when we traded him. Not to mention, I mean, it's really only the past 2 seasons that he's started to catch his stride, but that hurts. That was absolutely, I mean, trading Foucault, was that a mistake? No. Trading him to Buffalo? Yes, that was a mistake. Not to mention trading Al Montoya to Buffalo. Also a mistake. Nathan McKinnon finished second. Tyler Seguin led the league in points with 91. He also put up 51 goals. We did have a goal scorer in the top 5. Laine, Seguin, that wasn't going to happen. We traded for John Tavares once. That wasn't going to happen. And I didn't want to trade for Nathan McKinnon because we're using him in the Hartford series. So Clayton Keller was our guy, and he was one of 5 players to hit 40 goals. So I'm not exactly upset with that decision. Although this West Glennie guy, former #1 overall pick, looking half decent. Right, I think that covers everything except for the rookie scoring race, which actually, we should check that. Is Panayi going to walk away with a Calder? That would be nice. Have we won the Calder in this series? I honestly don't know. Rookie scoring, he's not going to win it. Steven Tamara. Steven Tamara somehow put up more points. It just goes to show you never really know how this works. The only thing Tamara's better in is offensive awareness, and it's by 1 point. You can't tell me he was playing with more talented players than Panayi either. That's just how the game goes, though. That's just how it goes. So let's take a look at the team. Let's get this set up in ideal of a way as we possibly can. We'll find out who we're playing in the first round. We'll take a look at their team, and then we'll begin. So let's go best lines. And I gotta be honest here. Now is the time where I really start to think, is it worth changing over player types? Now, I'm going to change over some player positions here because it helps for best lines and can help to get people on the power play where they need to be. But it is fairly obvious. I think we're going to go with Keller and Cunning, Panayi, Atkinson. It's just who do we have on the second line? Do we go with Simmons, Norris, or Garlock? And if we go with Norris, we can play Atkinson on the right, and Norris is a better center, so we're going to stick with that. So let's go with Farabee, Cunning, Keller. So 2 great playmakers and a sniper. Farabee has goal-scoring ability as well. I mean, it's pretty much the case. I mean, our top 6 is dangerous. They just need to deliver. Philip Deneau, unfortunately, has not bounced back. So let me just double check here. The only thing we need to do is change Keller and Atkinson to right wings, and then I'm going to go best lines again. That'll set up the power play in a way that it needs to be set up, even though I am going to take a look at it in a minute. But I want to see what the game suggests then at that point, and whether or not I decide to change over some player types. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. But let's change Atkinson over to a right wing. I mean, not too many players underperformed with the player types that they have at this point in time. So it might not be worth changing it over. I mean, for Clayton Keller, the obvious thing would be, oh, change him to a sniper. But he did put up, 42 goals as a playmaker. So it's just, do you mess with the formula? And for me right now, I'm not going to. But if we struggle, that's definitely going to be a factor, is trying to get people in their ideal player types. So let's go back to edit lines. We'll take a look at the power play and penalty kill. And actually, I want to see how much it changes over, if anything. It actually didn't change over anyway. Well, shit. That is a bit surprising, but there we go. We'll have Keller on that line instead. So goal scorers are the playmaker, goal scorer with the playmaker. And we do have to put Deneau back on the fourth line. So I think we're pretty much good. The power play, though, let's reunite the lines that we're actually going to be using. I mean, that looks all right. Hughes and Makar is a very interesting defensive pairing. And you know what? I'm actually going to put... Franzen, despite being a defensive D-man, that 92 offensive awareness and that shot, you wouldn't think with 78 passing he would have had 33 assists, but offensive awareness, it's a wonderful thing. And actually, here, actually, you know what? That works. No, it doesn't. We need Clayton Keller here. We need Clayton Keller. So we're going to take out Josh Norris for Keller. The defense is good like that, actually. Let's change them over. And the PK is Heino, Simmons, Garlock, and Deneau. I'm still okay with that. That works. That does. So we'll have Jenks and Juleson. Maybe Franzen and Lucic. The one problem with that is someone who's tired is going to have to stay out there on defense, but it's okay. Could be worse, but there we go. We'll have Lucic and Franzen together. I think we're okay. Let's find out who we're playing in round one. I am intrigued to see whether or not it will be Toronto or the team from the Metro. Who's it gonna be? Drum roll, just kidding. Who's it gonna be? Toronto, Carolina. We're gonna be playing the Carolina Hurricanes. Toronto draws up against Washington, of course. Well, then again, I mean, we knew we were getting the lower rated team. I just didn't know who was lower rated between Toronto and Carolina because I didn't think to look. Let's though take a look at what we're up against in the form of the Hurricanes. What are we dealing with here? So first line is Jeff Skinner, who is still a first-line talent, 32 years old, with Victor Rask and 36-year-old Patrick Kane, who is still pretty much the same old Patrick Kane. 75 points this season, 37 goals. That's obviously, it's a very dangerous top line. And the second line, with the second line, it doesn't get that much easier. Teuvo Teravainen is with Martin Nakash, who is a third liner. 77 offensive awareness, decent shot, good puck skills. You'd prefer to have him as a third liner. With Elias Lindholm, who has given us plenty of trouble in the past, in the postseason. So, for the most part, the core is still there, with the exception of Patrick Kane being an addition. On the third line, you have Sebastian Aho, which, maybe the best third liner in the league, with Alexi Sorella, who has 85 offensive awareness, and Dennis Yan, who was a Tampa pick. Fourth line is Kent Jones, former 21st overall selection, fourth liner, medium elite, 22 years old, with Yanni Kuokkanen and Julien Gauthier. So it's a pretty good team. Maybe not the line combinations I'd run with, but it's been good enough to get them to the postseason. And then you look at the defense. Noah Hannafin, who is a monster, with Justin Falk. They're still the top pairing. Jacob Slavin is with Hayden Fleury. And Jake Bean is with Josh Mahura. So their defense is pretty similar as well, except for Mahura. The goaltending is the same. It's Scott Darling at 36 years old. The backup is 23-year-old, 71 overall, Todd Riley. They have no injuries at the moment, 3 healthy scratches. I've always struggled with this name. Lenevo, Gustav Nyquist, and Artem Anisimov. Hey, good on them for sticking with the plan, because they have basically the same team. Patrick Kane is obviously a gigantic addition to the team, and is the one guy that concerns me the most. Not to say Scott Darling doesn't concern me. We've lost to, in series, on Twitch, run-throughs, playthroughs, we've seen 76 overall goalies eliminate super teams. Anything can happen. The Habs are back in the postseason. Let's see how this journey goes. First period of Game 1 on home ice. And that was a little bit better of a start than I honestly thought it was going to be. I think it's just because of the, similar kind of logo shapes in a way, not completely, I'm just saying. Joel Farabee gets the opening goal. Ned Panayi gets his first ever playoff goal. And Jeff Skinner gets it back, or gets one back. It's 2-1 at the end of the first period. Second period, the score holds up 23 shots to 19 in Carolina's favor, but they are still trailing on the scoreboard as we begin the sim on the third period. Halfway through, an extra goal would be lovely for us, not for Carolina. I feel like I should specify as we kill off that power play. There's only 3 minutes left in this game. Power play chance for the Habs. We don't need it. Spike Richmond shuts the door, and the Habs take Game 1. First star performance, 32 saves. Ned Panayi's game-winning goal. Joel Farabee got the opening goal. And there you have it. Easy as you like. First game, first win. You can't have a better start than that. Of course, the Rocket didn't make the postseason, as we really expected. So all eyes are on this run with the Habs. We're going to jump right into Game 2. There's no reason to really make any changes. First period is awful for us. It's really the only way to put it. Kuokkanen and Elias Lindholm. Now that's impossible. Okay, I don't mind losing, but can we please fix the logic here? It's literally impossible. Kuokkanen scores. You have a face-off. You're telling me Elias Lindholm got the puck from the center ice dot to that center ice dot and scored in 2 seconds. That bothers me more than center ice goals. That does. Come on now. Come on. Within 2 seconds, huh? So we're down 2-0 due to wizardry on the part of Elias Lindholm. He's a goddamn sorcerer. I've said that before. You and your damn witchcraft. Second period is scoreless, despite the fact that we're out shooting them 21-16. We are down 2-0 as we begin the sim on the third period. Power play chance for the Hurricanes is killed off, but my God, is that Lindholm goal incredibly frustrating. Another power play chance for the Canes is killed off, but it's looking like Scott Darling and the Hurricanes defense are going to hold on. Patrick Kane with the empty netter, and Scott Darling strikes back. 33 save shutout for the veteran, and the Hurricanes have tied this series. It's 1 game apiece. Right. So, on top of a very frustrating goal, a very unrealistic goal, we couldn't score. We have 2 goals through 2 games. As the series shifts to Carolina for games 3 and 4, if we don't win this game, we'll look at potentially making changes. Not that I want to sit here and change up the lines or even player types, but we're going to do what we have to do. First period of Game 3. That's a much better start for us. Clayton Keller and it's Kip Conklin? There's Kirk Cunning and Kip Conklin. I always tend to confuse the two. We're good, though. Keller gets his first playoff goal, and we're up 2-0. Second period. Fortunately, we couldn't hold on. Oh, boy. All right, well, here's the thing. So Patrick Kane scores. It's down to a 2-1 lead. Patrick Kane scored on Phil Shea. What happened to Spike Richmond? Third period, Phil Shea had a tremendous regular season. Can he hold on here? That is the question. We killed off another third period power play chance. Cole Atkinson gets the goal on Darling. It's a 3-1 lead. Phil Shea shutting the door. 3 minutes to go. And the Habs walk into Carolina and take Game 3. They outshot us 31-25, but we walk away with the win. The question is whether or not Spike Richmond is out long term. He was credited with the 17 saves shutout and a first-star performance. Farabee with a 2-point night. That's the question, though. What is the status of Mr. Richmond? The game said he only played 17 minutes, but here it says he played 32. So there's a bit more EA voodoo going on. Phil Shea gave up the goal, but Richmond ended up coming back. Again, this says Richmond made 17 saves, but according to this, actually, according to this, how many saves? No, he made 17 saves, but Phil Shea made 13. Weird. Very weird. Is Spike Richmond at 100%? Yes, he is. All right, this has been a very weird series so far through just 3 games. It's time for Game 4. We won't change up anything after getting the victory there. Let's just see if we can string together a couple of wins. First period is scoreless, pretty much even in shots. Second period is also scoreless, still basically even in shots. The first goal could win this thing. Josh Norris and then Clayton Keller on the power play. I said Josh Norris needed to come up with a big playoff performance. And there we go. He had to have some big-time moments. It happened for us there. Keller gets the other goal. Unfortunately, Slavin gets one back. We've traded power plays. 4.5 to go. Can we hold on? Simmons with the empty netter. And the Habs win Game 4 by the score of 3-1 and walk away with a 3-1 series lead. A 4-goal third period, and we scored 3 of them. Spike Richmond, 32 saves. Darling had another solid game, just not good enough, not able to withstand the offensive firepower of this team. Again, we have that 3-1 series lead, and we're going to jump right into Game 5, our first chance to end this right here and right now. First period is not great. Josh Norris gets the opening goal, so he's really stepping up. Unfortunately, Justin Falk and Victor Rask are able to beat Richmond. 2-1 lead for the Canes after the first period. Second period, and the score remains the same, 22 shots to 17 in their favor. Is there a comeback in the cards? Another power play is killed off. Is there a comeback in the cards? Another power play chance for Carolina. That's killed off too. Or will the Canes live to see another day? 8 minutes to go. And there we go, Kirk Cunning. I was going to say, just focus on the next goal. Don't focus on winning the game now. Just tie it up. Under 2 minutes to go. And for the first time in this series, we will see overtime. 2-2 in Game 5. Can we end the series right here and right now? Don't blink. It might end early. Let's see what happens. Can the Habs end it and book their ticket to the second round, please? Please, Norris, Panay, Farabee, Deneau, Larson, power play. Unfortunately failed. 57 seconds to go. It's double overtime now. Definitely don't blink. If this doesn't end within 5 seconds of real time, I'd be shocked. Here we go. And start the clock. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Called it. Patrick Kane scores on the power play, and the Hurricanes live to see another day. The double OT winner for Patrick Kane. I'm not sure who took the penalty, but needless to say, I am not very happy with them. I meant to go to all events. Who's the bastard that took the penalty? It was Cale Makar. 3 seconds in for high sticking. 3 seconds in, apparently. The Hurricanes win Game 5, and now we have to go back to North Carolina for Game 6. We're gonna keep the team the same. You can tell how confident I am in that. Let's do it. Game 6. We are better than them. Prove it and end this series right now. First period is scoreless. Second period is not. Joel Farabee, Ned Panayi with 2. And it's a 3-0 lead at the end of 40 minutes. Joel Farabee, who was our leading scorer heading into this game, as you just would have seen, and then Ned Panayi, the rookie, with 2 goals. We are 20 minutes away. Cole Atkinson makes it 4. Darling's not even in anymore. It's a 71 overall backup. The Montreal Canadiens will survive a bit of a scare, and we will eliminate the Hurricanes in Game 6. Not too bad. Teravainen ruins the shutout. Another late power play chance for us that we actually scored on. Clayton Keller, insult to injury. 5-1 final in Game 6. Ned Panayi and Cole Atkinson, both the 3-point nights. A 31 save performance from Spike Richmond. And the Habs are moving on. There you go. Easy does it. Not really. That was a little bit concerning. But you would expect us to win that matchup, and we did, so I'm not complaining. Joel Farabee, 7 points in 6 games. I'm not complaining. Kirk Cunning with 5 points. You'd like him to step up a little bit. Clayton Keller, though, 6 points, 3 goals. Not too bad. Not too bad. Ned Panayi, 5 points, 4 points for Norris, 5 points for Atkinson. So the top 6 is delivering. Nobody killed it, right? Like, we've seen some players have like 8 goals in 5 games before. Nobody's killing it to that level. But we got the job done. I'm not going to be overly critical. So, we could look at this in a positive light or a negative light. The positive is that we still won, despite the third and fourth line not contributing a damn thing. 2 points between 6 players. Or we can look at it as a negative, and if they don't get going, we're screwed. We'll see what happens. No doubt the bottom 6 here need to step it up. How do we get that to happen? Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe bumping up Donnell? We shall see. Is he just not happy about ice time? What is it? He's just not happy because he was injured. Nah, it's ice time. March 24th. Well, I mean, you're going to have to deal with it. Our defense, though, 4 points for Lucic. Only the 1 point for Franzen as well. Wow. I am honestly shocked now that we won this series. It came down to the superb goaltending of Spike Richmond. A .955 save percentage is unreal. Not to mention Phil Shea, in his one appearance, did very well. Fair play to him. Got to give him credit. So really, it was the goaltending in our top 6. Everybody else struggled. Well, except for Lucic. He did all right. It's concerning. It is concerning. But again, you can look at it from 2 different perspectives. We still won, so who cares? Or we might be in a lot of trouble heading into this next round. We don't yet know who we're playing. At least I haven't looked. I haven't paid attention. But let's see. Goals against per game, 1.67. Goals for per game is at a 2.5. What I wanted to check was our power play, which is currently rolling at 25%. Our penalty kill is only at 85. So we could look to change up the PK again. That's not an issue. We can change that up, no problem. The power play is doing all right. It's going to be tough. We won. So how much do we want to tinker? We're going to be playing Tampa. We're going to be playing Tampa. Tampa swept Buffalo. It's going to be the Islanders, if this will stop moving. It's going to be the Islanders against the winner of Washington and Toronto. So we already know that we're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Buffalo Sabres are out. Not only are they out, they were swept. And you know what? I actually want to take a look at what happened to the Sabres. Let's take a look here. So their team is still good. I mean, McCarron on the top line's pretty funny. But yeah, for the most part, their top line really struggled to deliver. Robert Haig is only a 73, huh? Fucale did well. I so wanted Zachary Fucale to be the reason as to why they struggled. That wasn't the case. They just couldn't score goals. Now, is it their players underperforming? Or is it because the Tampa Bay Lightning have a really good defense and goaltending? We're going to find that out in the next episode. I'm not exactly looking forward to finding out. It's a very scary thought as to what kind of team the Lightning have built up to this point. We're about to find out here, though. Is it going to be Washington or Toronto in the next round? It's Toronto. So it's Toronto and New York. We're going to be playing the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're just waiting for the Western Conference to catch up, as this game is just like, what are you doing? Like, I'm hitting the button, move it forward. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And there you go. We, of course, have home ice advantage. We will take a look at their lineup at the start of the next episode. Let me know down in the comments below, what would you do with the team? Would you change anything or just go for it against Tampa and then maybe, micromanage a bit where we have to? But it's Colorado, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Nashville, New York, and Toronto. Of course, us, Tampa, as the Elite Eight. And we'll see what happens in these postseason matchups in the next episode. My cold is still continuing to catch up with me, as you'd kind of expect. Talking for however long it's been, like 40 minutes straight, I think. It probably isn't the best for it, as I'm still recovering from getting sick, but damn it, I'm doing what I can. I hope you enjoyed the episode. You know what to do to support the video and the channel. Any and all support's more than appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Round 2 against Tampa. Thank God we avoided Buffalo. If we lose to Tampa, that's fine. I just didn't want to lose to Buffalo again.